Yeah, it's a step backwards. It's a big step backwards. I love our people. I love our players, our staff, our coaching group. But we took a big step backwards today, as a group. Unfortunately.
I think I heard you talk before the game about spirit and keeping and the spirit still being good. Do you worry that a performance like today may cost that spirit?
Short term it will. So for the next, obviously, couple of days, there'll be some sore boys, physically and mentally, as well as staff and coaches. We're all really disappointed with what we put out there. There'll be some supporters that, I'm sorry to our supporters for the performance we brought. It wasn't at the level. It was nowhere near the level. And, we're playing AFL football.
I know it's obviously games just finished. Do you have an idea why you put out that performance today?
Unfortunately, when you looked at the game, it was across the board. What can often happen when you start poorly and maybe you're not quite in the contest where you need to be, you can begin trying harder in areas that take you away from what's in the most important part, which is playing as a team. And we had far too many individuals today that didn't perform their roles at times. Sometimes that's through trying too hard and going away from what we do.
Were you concerned that there was like a lack of contest? I think they had a significant number of uncontested marks. They had lots of defensive 50 marks where there was no one around them. Was that a real concern for you, that particular area?
It makes the game harder when they're marking the ball in your forward 50. So that's concerning. What that does is then put you again, you're back straight into defence. And as I said before, we got a lot of things wrong early in the game. Being marked on in our forward 50 sets up the ground for you to defend. We weren't able to defend the corridor. At times remarkably wide open through the middle. So for whatever reason, and we'll work through that over the coming 24 hours, we were nowhere near the level that's required, and we didn't even look like what it is we're trying to achieve as a football team.
How disruptive was losing Tex morning of the game when you're flying out? I mean, you've already got a few senior guys out. I mean, it's probably a guy you couldn't really afford to lose, was it?
Yeah. No, we don't want to lose Tex on the morning of a game, and at 5:30 in the morning when you get a phone call with gastro, you don't have a smile as a coach on your face. And he'd been in some pretty good form too, coming back for a couple of solid games. So that it challenged us. It gave us an opportunity to give a first game to Kieran Strawn, who I thought came in and battled and tried his hardest. I feel for him. I think all the players do, because we weren't able to perform for him today. Unfortunately, his first game.
Why didn't Darcy come in? Obviously, on the surface, that's a like-for-like replacement.
Yeah, well, Darcy isn't actually ready to play at this point. So Darcy, just so we can get it clear, is in our squad because he has to be in our squad to train with our AFL to train contest. So Darcy's still a week away, maybe more, with his shoulder injury. He's coming back. He's going really well. But for us to train him in a contest this week, he had to be in a group of 9 that was our AFL group. So we basically list 27 who can train together. So there's some protocols and challenges that we're dealing with at the moment. Darcy, unfortunately, wasn't available for this game. We travelled over with Strawn and McKay, and in the end made the decision to go slightly taller ahead of the ball, which in hindsight, we weren't able to bring the ball to ground, and so height down there didn't help us.
Was Darcy's injury, the initial shoulder injury, was that probably, I guess, did you realise it was probably worse than the first fear? Because he's been out for a lot longer than everyone thought he would be. Yeah,
it was. I mean, initially we probably thought we might miss him for a week or two. Now it's been longer than that. It's one of those shoulders that's been a really tough one for him to come back from. He's done a hell of a lot of work on it. Challenging environment now with training as well, getting him into some contact work. But we're able to do that this week through the mechanism I talked through with getting him into our squad. We'll have a look at him now in 4 days' time, but I think we'll be pushing it again, to be honest. Off the back of today, we've got some decisions to make around selection.
How's Tom Doedee going? Will he be a chance for the next
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so. Again, it's, this period, we've got a 4-day break now. We play Wednesday night. So the challenge there is, we've looked at this break and gone, are there players we can play 10-day breaks rather than going 6 and 4? And can we do that either side of this 4-day break? Well, Tom may have been one of those anyway. Obviously, with a small setback, some tightness, we thought, well, the last thing we want to do is risk him on a 6-day break. We'd be really keen to get him back in v Melbourne. He's obviously a very important player to us. But again, it won't be something we take a risk with if he's still got any soreness. But at the moment, he's moving quite well and has been training, he's been running. So, we're reasonably confident we might get an opportunity for him.
How do you think Bryce Gibbs went out there? Obviously, every week he wasn't playing. Everyone, a lot of people are asking why isn't Bryce Gibbs playing, that kind of stuff. How do you think
It's a really hard one to gauge at the moment. We sat down as a group for 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes prior to coming in here just to get a gauge, just to share ideas and thoughts around why we performed the way we did. From an individual point of view, it's hard to gauge that at this point. I mean, a lot of players were off today. A lot of players struggled to get themselves into the game, and to actually look at it straight away now, it's really hard for me to make a call on how Bryce went, let alone other players.
You talk about the 4-day turnaround coming off the back of the game like today. Is that a good or a bad thing?
Yeah.
Do you want to get straight back out there, or do you need a bit of time?
Yeah, we do. We're going to play tomorrow. I mean, we'd love to, but realistically, the recovery's super important. I'm not sure how many teams we've seen off 4-day break. I think Melbourne came off one, and it's going to be a challenge. For those guys that are going to play 2 in a row and experience that 4-day break, there's a challenge there. But I know our players, and as I said, we briefly spoke about it then. Well, normally you've got to wait 7 days before you get to show yourself again, especially off a performance like we just put out as a group. Coaches, staff, players, we can't wait to get back out and play again and redeem ourselves. We've made so many positive steps forward, and then to have such a big step back today, it was really disappointing, really disappointing. We know we're going to have challenges along the way. This is a transition period we're going through. There are going to be challenges. We just experienced one, and unfortunately, some of it is in the way maybe we prepared. We'll have to go right through that, and we'll have a look at it all, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Do you be a bit strict, or a bit more of the stick rather than the carrot with the players this week? I mean, I think Grant Port's kind of said, do you not want Mr. Nice Guy kind of thing? You should be patting players on the back after a game. We patting them after this, or.
It's an interesting one, that, because I wouldn't say I'm a carrot coach. I have my moments with a stick. You'd have to ask the players how I balance that out. I'm never going to get angry with a player. We will always talk. It's never an intention for a player to go out and underperform. It's never an intention for a player to go out and not play for the team. It's about education. It's about working with these guys on making them better footballers. So a tap on the bum at the end of a game is, it's all right, bud. We're sticking tight. We're not going to drop off each other and get angry at each other. We're going to find a way to get better.
Also, at quarter time, you were pretty. It looked like you had some choice words for the players, and then at half time, I think you were moving around drink bottles that kind of showed what positions players should be in. What was your message to the players after that poor start? Well,
quarter time was the stick that you talk about. I just felt we needed it at the time. We needed to spark ourselves, and we gave 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter, and it looked like us again. It was like, okay, we're back, but we couldn't sustain it today. At half time, it was really a statement to them around. I think we were sliding bananas and water bottles, and it was a simple. We know the way we play and what we are as a team, what we're striving to be as a team. When we're not quite there yet consistently, we didn't bring that in the first half. We bought it for 5 minutes, as I said. So it was just a demonstration to our boys about, look, what do you want to do? Do you want to be us, or do you want to just play randomly? I think we're all quite frustrated. We thought we'd come out and rectify that in the second half, and we didn't.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, boys.